Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaylin. I'm currently finishing up my master's degree at the University of Oxford, and in the fall I'll be heading to Yale University for my PhD in History and African American Studies. I was supposed to make a video today all about time management, but I thought that I should address the email that was sent to me by Yale and the Graduate School of Art and Sciences about fall teaching. So ever since I accepted my offer to Yale and came back from Oxford due to COVID, I have been waiting to see what Yale was going to do in terms of instruction. There was a couple different scenarios going around. There was a discussion about hybrid teaching. There was a discussion about staying remote. And ultimately, we received an email yesterday telling us their decision and how the fall semester is going to go. So the email basically stated that they're going to do a residential remote model, which basically means that they want you to be in New Haven if you can, and that you will be doing your classes remotely, so online. Which for me essentially means that the first semester of my PhD at Yale will be on Zoom, which is not the best, but I'm going to talk a little bit about how I'm feeling about the situation, what my plans are, how that's going to impact my research, how that's going to impact classes and all of that. So I want to answer some of you guys' questions, and at the end I'm going to be talking a little bit about my moving plan and just discuss how I'm feeling about the whole thing. So we're just going to jump right into the questions and then we'll take it from there. So someone asked, are you still planning on moving near campus? So yeah, my plan to move to New Haven still stands. I want to be in the area. I also am ready to begin that stage of my life. I find it very difficult to get my work done here. It's very difficult for me to feel like I'm in an academic environment when I'm not in an academic environment. So I still plan to move. I have my lease. I sent in my security deposit. I have the rental car and everything. So that is happening in 37 days. So it's coming up pretty quick, and I have the roadmap and everything. So I still plan on moving, and I have an apartment in downtown. So I will be very close to campus, even if I can't necessarily go into campus. So someone asked what my class load is going to look like for the first semester at Yale. So my class load will be 3 classes. I am doing the combined PhD in History and African American Studies. So I have a theory and methods type course for history, and I have a racial formations course for African American Studies, and then I'm going to have an additional course. I'm not entirely sure what that course is going to be. I'm still waiting on the listings. They probably aren't going to come out until just before the classes start. So there's also a shopping period at Yale, and the email that they sent to us yesterday was kind of unclear as to when the graduate student shopping period is going to be. But in addition to that, I'm also going to try to sit in on some of the undergraduate lectures. I have spoken to my advisor, and he's teaching a class on slavery in the Atlantic world, so I'm going to hopefully sit in on that because it's a class I might be able to TA in the future. And I'm going to try to see if there are other classes that I can sit in on because I want to soak up as much information as possible. And I also went to UCLA. I went to undergrad as a transfer student, so I only got to take history classes essentially for 2 years. So any amount of history classes I can take, I want to take them because I love history. And then I plan on taking 3 or 4 classes in the spring, and then I also plan on taking a summer course for my language requirement because I do need to take French. And the next question is, if online, what challenges do you see yourself having to overcome? So I'm a very independent person. I am excited to live alone. I'm going to have my dog with me, but I do foresee that I will feel a little lonely and probably a bit isolated because I always recommend that when you start a new program and you're moving to a new place, that the first couple weeks that you start, especially in an academic program, everybody's new and everybody's looking to make friends, so that's when they're at their most social. And so I think a little bit of that experience is going to be taken away, but I'm really enjoying my cohort so far, and I'm going to make an effort to try to stay in touch with them and make friends, even if that means that we can't really take classes together in person or hang out in person. So I'm going to do what I can to kind of make friends and stay in touch there. And I also want to meet up with some of the academic influencers and whatnot in New York. There's also a girl that is going to Brown, and I'm hoping that once I get a car that I can go meet her for coffee or something. So that's kind of my greatest concern, is just the feeling of being lonely. But I think it's going to be all right. I think that it's going to be hard for the first month, and then I'll settle into it. And in addition to that, I think the other challenge that I foresee is just, this would have happened with being online or not online is just moving into my own apartment and kind of getting into routine and settling in. I have lived in apartments with roommates for a long time, and then I've lived with my grandparents, so I have never had a one-bedroom apartment just to myself, so should be interesting. I'm really excited. I actually ordered some of my furniture, and I'll talk about that at the end of the video, so stick around if you want to hear that story, because I've ordered a couple of the pieces, and let me tell you what an adventure that has been already. And in terms of difficulties with my research, so I have coursework the first year, but my ambitious plan is to try to write as much as possible and start trying to get articles put together for publication, because that's going to be important in the long run. And there is some work that I did as an undergrad that I would like to kind of polish up and get published. And as for my master's dissertation from Oxford, we'll kind of see what stage it's at. I may be able to try to get it published, but I also might just wait. Luckily for my research, a lot of the archives are online, but in terms of the county courts in Virginia, I do have to actually go to those archives. So I'm hoping that I can just access them by summer 2021 and do some of my research then. And then I'm also hoping that the Beinecke manuscripts library opens while I'm there my first year, so it's not like totally at a loss. Luckily, a lot of my archives, again, are online, which was how I was able to get my master's dissertation put together, but there are a couple barriers to me doing my research. Can't really travel as much as I would like. I can't really go to DC in the same way and go to the National Archives. So that's kind of what's going on with that. Those are my concerns. They're not that significant. I'm mostly just concerned about being lonely and having access to the archives within the first year of being at Yale. I will also say that there will be research for each of my individual courses that I'm going to have to do, because I know I have some reading courses and I also have research courses. So that'll be a little bit challenging, and I'm just gonna have to figure it out as it comes along. So someone asked about balancing work and a PhD. I do not plan on having a conventional job during my PhD, at least not for the first year. And I do not plan on riding horses professionally, honestly, ever again. I also got a question about that, so I'll address that in a second about my riding. But ultimately, my plan is to work on my consulting business, really get that up off the ground. I also have some other projects. I have some actual like physical products that I want to come up with within the next year. So I'm going to be working and hustling on that. So that's going to be my other job. But a PhD is qualified as a job because you are being paid a stipend, basically like a salary, in order to attend and work on your dissertation and to be trained as a scholar. So I plan on doing my PhD, continuing YouTube, working on my consulting business, and also working on launching another company. So another thing that I wanted to address is someone asked whether I will be riding when I'm at Yale or if I found a barn. So ultimately for the first 6 months, I will not be riding. I am selling my car here in California. It just didn't really make sense to bring it across the country with me. And I plan on buying another car within the next year or so, but I'm not in any rush, especially with COVID. And I also want to make sure that I'm just really financially stable before I take on yet another expense, because things like gas and insurance and parking are definitely a thing. So I want to wait on buying another car. So that's partially a barrier to me finding a place to ride out there. And then in addition to that, I left the horse industry for a number of reasons, and I ultimately decided that I wanted to pursue my education and pursue this particular goal and now pursue my consulting business and all of that, because I feel very deeply passionate about my research and the things that I'm studying. And when I was a kid, I thought I was never going to find anything I loved as much as riding, but that's how I feel about academia. I just love my work. I love the work that I'm doing with my clients as a consultant. I get so much enjoyment out of working with students that I feel like are really deeply passionate about going to graduate school and helping them get into their dream schools. So I don't really feel the need to ride. I love horses. I love competing. It will always be a part of my life, but it's not really a priority anymore. I think that ultimately when I have the money someday, I would like to have another horse of my own, but it's just not a priority. It's something that I did professionally and that I'm doing professionally at the moment, and honestly I'm looking forward to kind of letting it go, because during this time I realized that while I love riding, I find the industry very difficult to deal with, and there's just more important things to me. I have things that I'm prioritizing, which is my research and my education and my business and my future businesses and my personal relationships. And so that's kind of my priority at the moment. Again, horses will always be a part of my life, but if I do ride at Yale, it will be after I get a car and if I decide that that's what's right for me at the time. All right, so now that we're done answering the questions from Instagram, I'm gonna kind of address what my thoughts are, what my moving plans are, how the move to remote learning is going to impact my first semester as a PhD student. So my moving plan as of right now is that I will be picking up a moving van on Saturday, August 1st and leaving August 2nd. I am going to be driving across the country with Liam. And if you guys do not know who Liam is, he is my boyfriend. We've been dating for a little over a year now. And so we're gonna be taking this road trip together and he's gonna help me move in. And I also think it's just gonna be a really fun time. We're gonna vlog the whole thing and take you guys along. And then when we get to New Haven, I'm gonna have the mattress with me. So I'm gonna go into like the random nitty-gritty details of the move because I find it interesting. I wish that more people talked about like the inner workings of moving across the country because it is challenging. I ordered my mattress. So it is one of those like boxed mattresses and you'll get to see it once it's here. But I wanted to take it with me because I was deeply concerned that it wasn't going to arrive in time or that it would arrive too early and that somebody might take it or that it would get lost or something. So I felt that it was better for me to have it arrive here in California and for us to take it across with us than to deal with the possibility that we would get there and not have a place to sleep. So that's why I ordered the mattress early. And in addition to that, I also called with the service team at Wayfair yesterday because there was a couple furniture pieces that I was planning on purchasing and I was just so concerned that again they were going to arrive too early or they were going to arrive too late. And so I talked with them yesterday. They are having the big pieces sent to their warehouse and it'll be held there until it is ready to send to me once I am in my apartment. So the pieces that I bought so far are my mattress, I bought my couch, a dresser, and a nightstand. And then the rest of it I have to order a little closer to the move date. So that's the information related to furniture and just the kind of adventure that has been in trying to figure out when do I need to order things, is it gonna arrive in time, and all of that. So it's just been chaos. But nonetheless, that's the plan for moving things. And I'm also going to be picking up my dog in Minnesota. She's going to be coming to live with me in New Haven. I'm so excited. I have had her since she was born and she has never gotten to live with me during her lifetime. I lived with her when I was in high school, but this will be the first time that my dog actually gets to come live with me. And I think she's gonna be a great grad school dog. So I'm very excited to have her with me in New Haven. I think it's gonna definitely help with my feelings of loneliness. I struggled a lot with loneliness and depression when I first graduated high school and started riding horses professionally. I had moved to a city about 2 hours from my home and I did not have any friends. I had a really difficult time. And my first inclination when thinking about this move and thinking about being remote and not being able to kind of make friends right away was, what if that happens to me again? Like, what if I feel as isolated and as lonely as I did then? While that definitely is in the back of my mind, I know that that's just fear talking. I know that that's just my anxiety kind of rearing its ugly head. And so I just have to remind myself that I'm a lot more independent now. I know how to function on my own. I'm actually better functioning on my own. And I'm gonna have Moo with me. I also have a lot more that I am invested in. I think that there is a danger when you pick one thing to invest your whole life in. And at that time, my whole world was riding and competing horses. I think I should definitely make a video about the pivot from professional riding to academia, but let me know if you guys have any questions on that you would like to address because that is going to be a lengthy video. At the time, I was really throwing myself into only that. I didn't have a personal life. I didn't have friends. I was running myself ragged, and there were some weeks where I would literally be up all day, all night at a horse show, braiding horses' manes at night and competing all day and running around. And I would be doing that for 5 days straight. And I was really unhealthy, and I just have to remind myself that during that time, I had a very difficult set of circumstances, and I also chose a career where full dedication is kind of required of you. Now I'm in a stage in my life where I have a variety of things that contribute to my feeling of well-being and happiness, and I know how to help myself and regulate myself and figure out what it is I need. And so I think that my greatest concern of being isolated and being kind of lonely is just fear of that happening to me again. There's a lot of things that kind of contributed to that, but ultimately the concern about that happening again was clouding my feeling that I'm going to be okay at Yale. And also, I am disappointed that teaching will be over Zoom. That's definitely not how a PhD seminar functions at its best. But ultimately, I just feel so blessed to even, sorry, I don't want to cry. I feel so blessed to have even gotten into Yale. And I feel so lucky that I don't really care if it's online. I get to go to Yale, which is amazing. And it's not just amazing because of the name. I don't want people to ever think that I chose Yale because it's a big university. It's helpful, and it definitely puts me in a position where I am better equipped for certain types of jobs. But ultimately, I chose Yale because of the people I wanted to work with, and because they had an African American Studies department. And ultimately, I'm there for 6 years. 1 semester or even 2 semesters is not going to make the biggest dent in my experience. And I think that it's a challenge. I think that facing adversity and experiencing moments where your expectations are not met, that you grow and you learn. And so while it is mildly disappointing that I will not get to sit in on seminars and be there in the physical space with my cohort and my professors, I know that I'm going to make the most of it, and I am just so excited to move out into my own apartment and decorate it and get settled and have my dog with me. And there's so many videos I'm looking forward to making, because this office is just kind of a makeshift office that is being borrowed from my grandfather, and I'm staying in my grandparents' room while my grandfather is downstairs. If you guys don't know, he had a stroke just at the beginning of when we went into shelter in place in California, and he's doing a lot better now, so thank you guys so much for asking. But my kind of living situation has been kind of fraught and just in flux. So I'm excited to have a permanent place where I can kind of set myself up and I can settle in and decorate, and also just film videos like morning routines, night routines. There's so many different types of like high production type videos that I want to make that I just can't really make in this space. And I'm so excited. I can't wait to show you guys my time management video, because you're gonna see how many videos I have in the works for you guys. I have a whole list on this application on my computer that I'll be sharing with you guys on Tuesday, and I have so many videos planned for the future. So I hope you guys are excited for that. And if you guys ever have any suggestions for videos that you guys want to see that would be helpful to you, please leave them in a comment down below or shoot me a DM on Instagram, because I add them to that master list and then I begin filming them. I try to do a vlog and then kind of an informational video each week. So that is what is going on at the moment. I am so excited to begin at Yale. It may not look the way that I was hoping, but I just want to be safe. I want everybody else to be safe, and ultimately I get to go do a PhD at Yale, so it can't be that bad. I'm really excited for my move. I just can't wait, and it's so close. I was looking at a calendar yesterday and I can just, it's so close. I'm so excited. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one and that you guys got some information about what's going on with Yale. If you guys have any other questions, please leave them in a comment down below. And if you guys are starting at your program in the fall, please let me know what your school is planning on doing. Are they going to be opening up? Are they going to be remote? Are they going to be doing kind of a hybrid model? Let me know what your experience is going to be like in the fall, some of your concerns and things that you're excited about. So leave those in a comment down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are not yet subscribed, there's a lot of fun content coming your way, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're almost to 1.5 thousand, which is so exciting. And that's it. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye everyone.